is the first ship in production for deep space exploration.
One thing we've learned on our bigger ships that we've done before is that everything is being driven by interior. There is no point starting the exterior work until we're 100% happy that the interior works exactly as it should. It doesn't create any problems. All the these areas are working fine. There is enough room for everything. Nothing needs to be shifted. Because before, on the first ships we've made, we kind of tried to build both at the same time. And that started causing conflicts. And you had to go back and redo quite a lot of things, which we kind of stopped doing fairly recently. And starting on Reclaimer and now Carrack and a few other ships that we are building on right now, exterior always started a little bit after everything else.
Think of honeycombs, how honeycombs stack with each other. We're trying to develop all the floors in the rooms to feel like they're stacking with each other into this honeycomb design. We're trying to stick to like no 90-degree corners. It's all 30 and 60 degrees. All the floors are raised up and all the pipe work and machinery is all underneath. The lighting we're going to go for is very blue overall feel with a red accent colour in certain places, and it's very heavy military inspired.
Right now I'm kinda know that the ship got a little bit bigger than what it was originally planned, and as usual this is caused by the difference between the initial blockout and how much room we actually need as artists. Like put some nice layering on the walls, like whenever you have pipes, whenever you have stuff cutting into it, even if player cannot get there, you can see this stuff. And the deeper it gets, the more layers you get, the more interesting it has, especially in a style like Anvil's kind of interior, which hasn't really been shown before to the public yet. No one actually seen the Anvil capital ships. This is going to be the first one. This is going to be the big one. So the visual style is very, very, it's very layered. It's very kind of utilitarian. It's very militaristic. It's much more militaristic, I would say, than what Aegis does. So just because when the ship was planned out, every kind of room, we had like, well, let's say 25 centimeters for every wall, and then another room started. We need about 2 meters between those rooms because we need at least a meter to start putting things in. That difference, that pushes things a little bit. Luckily, it's usually uniform. So the ship, even if the ship gets bigger, it doesn't really get bigger only in one direction. It basically just scales up by, I don't know, 20% or depending on the ship really and on the style. So the exterior visually isn't going to change much. The way we build the interior seems to be fairly consistent with what we wanted to do with the ship originally. It follows the original guidelines quite close. And then the exterior, except it's going to be a little bit bigger.
We're just moving on to detailing up certain areas. We've got 3 main core archetypes. We've got engineering, medical and habitational and technical. And we're picking 3 different areas from those, and we're doing pure max concept work for what these areas could look like. So the length of the ship has got bigger. For example, for that would be the drone room. We're using the Reclaimer as the basis for how big this drone room can be. And the first initial designer blockout for that was literally almost like a cupboard in size. So we've just had to increase that on the length of the ship. And basically, it's pretty much like that on every single room, and it's just got slightly larger and larger and larger. But it's not crazy large. I think it's got about 30 meters longer than it was before. The ship contains its own little scout ship for when it I think it discovers a planet. It can use its scout ship to obviously check out the planet or debris or space wreck, whatever it is that they find. It also has a hangar for a Anvil style-esque rover, which has got to be created yet, and it's also got 3 modular pods on the back which can be customized by the player. At the moment we are currently just doing the cargo units for those modular pods, and design will tell us what the other specs are for the other pods that can be switched out.
It's pretty much a Prometheus from the movie. Of our universe. This is the explorer's ship. This is the ship that you can basically just get a crew of other 5 people and just go on an adventure of exploring planets. And you can spend on this ship months or years. It's just, you just go, and it's self-sustaining. It's really, really mobile. You can modify it, or like you can customize it to some extent, depending, do you want to do like a deep space exploration or planned exploration, or do you just want to haul some cargo into a very, very long distance? There will be a possibility to play around with that. It's also fairly well armed, so it can defend itself. If it's gonna get attacked, it's quite good at it. It has possibility of on-foot exploration, so it has a rover, because it is the exploration ship of the universe. The whole interior is gonna feel very, very open. The canopy that you can basically hang on top of the visual, like a lot of windows, a lot of nice visual, like open rooms, especially on the top deck. Even possibility to walk easily on top of the ship, like the top airlock is going to be connected to a set of balconies that kind of will be going around the hangar for the smaller ship. You can kind of just walk there, and instead of forcing yourself, there will be just room for players to walk around it, which is going to be really, really nice.
So the entire ship is done, white box. The only part that hasn't been done yet is the bridge, because that's going to be needed to be done in conjunction with the exterior, because it's heavily tied in with that. So when that gets kicked off, the bridge will be done to white box standards. Other than that, it's pretty much ready for us to go on to final art in all the areas and take rooms to final. Everyone's excited about this ship. This is the best ship. This is probably the most anticipated ship, at least on the Reddit community. It seems to be everyone's loving it. I love it. I think it's a really, really nice concept. I think it's a really, really nice design, and I'm really, really into just building it and making it, and I have quite a few ideas of how to make some of the yet unresolved stuff and the concept work, obviously with support of other artists, and yeah, everyone just loves this ship, and this is gonna be something else.
I'm happy to report that the Anvil Carrack, which entered production at Foundry 42 UK recently, has successfully completed its white box review and is currently moving into the earliest stages of grey box phase. Now, for a ship this size, there's still a fair amount of work to be done, but it's beyond thrilling to see this beloved ship currently making its way through the ship pipeline. Stay tuned for more information as it becomes available.